What happens when the monster you helped unleash finally sums up courage and turns his rage on you? Just weeks ago, Hikuleo and Jacob Fatu were expected to be allies, bound by blood, legacy, and the fallout of the Bloodline civil war. But backstage at SmackDown, cameras caught Hikuleo doing what no one dared, stepping directly into Jacob Fatu's path. Sources say Hikuleo didn't flinch. He stood inches from Fatu and said, "This isn't your kingdom." No fists thrown. Just a stare. A warning. You could feel the walls shake. This wasn't about ego. This was about identity, who really carries the family name with honor. Jacob didn't respond with violence. He smiled, then walked off. What does that mean? Respect? Fear? Or something way worse? Don't forget to smash that subscribe button, and drop a comment down below who you think is going to win if these two collide again. This is shocking. Absolutely no one saw it coming. Just when you thought the Bloodline saga couldn't go any deeper, darker, or more personal, something seismic happens backstage at SmackDown. A confrontation that left superstars speechless, security on edge, and fans across the globe holding their breath. Hikuleo, the monster, the enforcer, the silent storm in Solo Sikoa's new bloodline. A man who just weeks ago helped Solo Sikoa dethrone Jacob Fatu and steal the United States Championship in one of the most brutal ambushes we've seen this year. The same Hikuleo who chokeslammed Fatu through the announce table at Night of Champions and cemented his allegiance to Solo's regime. And Jacob Fatu, the Samoan werewolf, the man who carried the U.S. Championship with fire and fury. The same Fatu who stood toe-to-toe with Solo, who rallied back with Tama Tonga, and who left fans chanting his name in every arena he walked into. These two were supposed to be allies. Brothers in battle. Soldiers from the same cloth. Until tonight. Backstage at SmackDown, under the flickering fluorescent lights and the echoing tension that fills WWE locker rooms during war, something unexpected happened. Something chilling. Hikuleo walked straight into Jacob Fatu's path. No hesitation. No hesitation. No backup. No words for hype. Just one massive figure standing still like a statue with fire behind his eyes. Security reportedly stood by. Camera crews rolled silently. The vibe was electric, like the storm was about to break. Sources inside WWE say Hikuleo didn't blink. He looked Jacob Fatu in the eyes, dead cold, and uttered 6 words that changed everything. "This isn't your kingdom, Fatu." Boom. That's it. No fists thrown. No screaming. Just those words. And Jacob Fatu. He didn't raise his voice. Didn't clench a fist. He just smiled. A slow, eerie smile. Then turned and walked off. Now pause. Think about that. No attack. No comeback. Just a warning. A smirk. And silence. That moment might be more terrifying than a full-blown assault. Because when men like Jacob Fatu and Hikuleo don't fight, when they don't unleash, it means something bigger is coming. Something calculated. Something dangerous. Let's break this down. Just a month ago, these two were aligned by force. After Solo Sikoa formed his new bloodline, he recruited Hikuleo, renamed Tama Tonga, as the monster behind his throne. Together with J.C. Mateo and Tangaloa, they forged a brutal, unstoppable faction. Fatu, at the time, was Solo's muscle. But cracks started to form. Fatu began to feel overlooked. Disrespected. He was the champion, but Solo treated him like a pawn. And when those whispers grew too loud, Fatu snapped. He turned on Solo, and at Night of Champions, Solo and his goons got their revenge, courtesy of Hikuleo. That's the twist. Hikuleo played the executioner. He sent Jacob Fatu crashing through a table, helped Solo steal the gold, and walked out as the muscle of Solo's new era. So why now? Why confront Fatu backstage? Why call him out with words instead of fists? Here's where things get complicated. There are rumors, whispers behind the scenes. Some say Hikuleo isn't happy playing second fiddle. That he's tired of doing Solo's dirty work. That he wants more than just to be the enforcer. That maybe, he thinks he should be the king. Because let's be honest, Hikuleo isn't just muscle. He's a legacy. The adopted son of Haku. A giant who made his mark in New Japan Pro Wrestling before stepping into WWE and immediately shaking the ground. And deep down, maybe he sees something in Jacob Fatu that scares him. Maybe Fatu, despite the losses and the betrayals, represents something Hikuleo hasn't found yet: independence. Identity. Raw respect from the crowd. Fatu walks alone now, with Tama Tonga by his side, yes, but with no master. No one barking orders. And Hikuleo. He's still stuck in Solo's orbit. Still being told when to attack, who to break. So that statement, "This isn't your kingdom," was more than a taunt. It was a declaration. A shot across the bow. Hikuleo is staking his claim. Not just against Fatu, but maybe against Solo too. And if you look closely, this could be the beginning of something massive. What if Hikuleo is turning? What if this moment wasn't just a one-off confrontation but a sign that the monster is done following? Let's go deeper. Fatu's smile. That silent smirk before he walked off. That wasn't fear. That was understanding. Fatu didn't need to punch him. He didn't need to respond. Because that moment said it all. Hikuleo might think it's his kingdom, but Fatu knows better. He knows that the second Hikuleo steps out of line with Solo, he becomes exactly what Fatu once was, a threat. And Solo doesn't deal with threats kindly. Fatu's been there. Fatu's lived that exile. And maybe, just maybe, he saw himself in Hikuleo. The question now isn't, will these two fight? The question is, when? Because make no mistake, this confrontation wasn't a tease. It wasn't a backstage promo. It was a storm cloud. A pressure point. A ticking time bomb. Whether it's on SmackDown, at SummerSlam, or Survivor Series, you can bet the moment is coming when Jacob Fatu and Hikuleo collide in the ring. And when they do, it won't be pretty. It won't be respectful. It will be war. This isn't about championship gold anymore. It's about identity. It's about power. It's about which of these two men will carry the legacy of their family forward, and who will be remembered as the one who broke the bloodline. Fans online are already taking sides. One post reads, Fatu's the real alpha. Hikuleo better not poke the bear. Another says, Hikuleo's the future. He's done being a lapdog. And then there's the wild speculation, what if these two don't fight at all? What if they join forces? What if this was just the first step in a plan to overthrow Solo Sikoa and reclaim the bloodline for the people who actually earned it? Imagine that. Fatu, Hikuleo, together. A force so dominant, even Roman Reigns would have to take notice. But that's fantasy. Because right now, it's personal. Right now, it's one man telling another, I don't care who you think you are. I don't care what you've done. This is my time now. And another man smiling back, not because he's scared, but because he knows, when the time comes, he's ready to prove exactly